our nationalists. Since 1963, my brothers and sisters, twice a year the African heads of states would meet. And every time they would meet, they would talk about the wishes of our Pan-African fathers, the wishes to unite and speak with one voice. And one summit after another, we failed to meet a consensus until March last year. 55 years later since the conversation began. 700 years since colonization. Is that disgusting or what? That's our story. That's our reality. And that's why each and every one of you must be disgusted about our circumstances. How bad do things have to be before we can wake up and say enough is enough? But we just go on. Business as usual. We accept lies that are being told to us. Have you ever wondered who came up with the idea of the color black and that the devil was black? Have you ever thought about that? Who has seen the devil? Nobody has seen the devil. And then if I were to ask all of you right now, what color is the devil? 100% all of you are going to say black, because somebody told you the devil was black. So they tell you the devil was black, and then turn around and say, you people are black. So that which you represent represents the devil. And you wonder why we are going from one generation to the other, raising children who don't feel equal to the rest of the world. No matter how much we tell our children at home that you're black and beautiful, the minute they step outside the door, they are immersed in the world that tells them everything that you represent as a black person is bad and undesirable. Even the devil's food cake is black. Black widow. Never seen a villain in the movies who was putting on white. Never seen a bank robber putting on a white mask. Are you with me?
Yes.
Subliminal messages designed to keep us feeling inferior to the rest of the world. How long are we going to continue to believe in the lies? They are nothing but downright lies. Let me take it home a little bit. I was born in Zimbabwe. The British did not come to Zimbabwe until 1896. Prior to that, we didn't have the word white and black. We didn't. We had our gods that we worshipped, they had no color. We didn't have the word devil. We were taught, 1896. I often say, so where were we prior to their coming in 1896? We knew of no color. We were proud Africans. Even the countries that we know today as Africa, they were not there prior to the Berlin Conference in 1884. Think about it. They just came, they just started dividing, and they started telling us what we should believe and what we shouldn't believe. And carte blanche, we just took it without question. Are you willing to accept the fact that you represent the devil? That you look like the devil? Has anybody ever told you that you represent the devil? No. But subliminally, they have.
Yes.
Are you with me?
Yes.
So we must speak our truth. We must refuse the lies. And the only way to refuse the lies is for you to understand that these are lies. The last I knew were the origin of humanity. The DNA that runs in our veins is the DNA of originality. If the truth be told, without a black woman, there would not be any race on earth. Life as we know it, all the races as we know them, started with a black woman. We gave birth to the first human being. Life started in Africa. And that's a documented fact. And yet, the same people, the the origins of humanity are being made to feel like the scum of the earth. Again, more lies. So much last year, finally, at a summit in Kigali, the heads of states finally signed and agreed a decision that says Africa must speak with one voice. Africa must enter the world stage as Africa, one continent, one people. And we needed, out of the 55 heads of states, we needed only 22 countries to ratify. Ratification means, after they agree on a decision in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, the heads of states have got to go back to their countries and put that decision through parliament. And we only needed 22 countries to do that. Now, ratifications take time. The average is 5 years to get a ratification through parliament. So the Western world was saying, oh, this is never going to happen. These Africans will never speak with one voice. They'll never get the ratifications. This ACFTA is going to be a piece of paper in a drawer somewhere. So forget it. Well, guess what? Exactly 13 months, which was April this year, the 22nd ratification was deposited to the African Union. Hallelujah. You see what happens when we work together? Yes. What happens when we speak with one voice? Yes. We have the president of the World Health Organization. You know how we got it? Because we spoke as a group. We voted as Africa, the giant. We have the president of the Francophone, French-speaking countries around the globe. It's a black female from Rwanda. You know how we got that? We went to the United Nations and we voted as Africa. Yes. So whenever Africa has come together and spoke as Africa, we have prevailed. Yes. So our leaders are beginning to get it. They're beginning to rise up and speaking with one voice. July this year, July 7th to be exact, the African heads of states officially launched the African Continental Free Trade Area. And exactly 12 months from July, our continent is going to enter the world stage as Africa. Yes. If this is not exciting news, I don't know what else would be exciting. It is. This is so monumental and historic for all people of African descent around the world. And yet, you see, the ACFTA said exactly 30 days from when the 22nd ratification is deposited with the African Union, exactly 30 days, the ACFTA will be in force. I happened to be in Addis Ababa. I stayed until midnight, May 30th. That was the day. And I waited to see the fanfare on various televisions around Africa. Nothing. I said, okay. Maybe there will be a special event. Sure enough, they did, which was the launch, July 7th. Same thing. I was in Niamey, Niger, which is when the launch took place. I stayed till midnight. I waited. I'm scanning through television stations. Are you with me? Africa has never come together and spoke about strategic planning for the continent. This development of the continent. Africa has never, ever in the history of the continent spoken with one voice. This is monumental. And yet the children of Africa, you get the news, it's okay. Really? This is the time that we should have been talking about our Pan-African fathers, about our history of colonization, about the path for the continuation of colonization, about the Berlin Conference, about the OAU, all the way up to the ACFTA. This would have been an opportunity for us to educate our people about how long this journey has been. So we don't take what is happening for granted, but sadly, we are taking the ACFTA for granted. My sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, the African heads of states have signed an agreement that is melting away all the borders. The next 12 months, the African Union has created the continental implementation teams, regional implementation teams, national implementation teams, all designed to get rid of those boundaries that have been keeping us from coming together and trading with each other and improving our economies. Now here's the reality. July 1st, all those non-tariff barriers are going to be gone. The rules of origin are going to be cleared up. Would have harmonized all the policies to make sure that when you register your company in one African country, you can spread like wildfire throughout the continent. And guess what the real reality is? We would have just opened up this gigantic market, $2.5 to $3 trillion, $1.27 billion in the continent, 400 million outside the continent. We would have opened this market, not to the rightful owners. Yes. Because you know what they're saying? Well, you see, these Africans, these black people, they have no money. So yeah, come July, we're going to waltz in with our financial muscle, and we're going to really, this time, it's a complete takeover of the continent. Woo! Not by us. Because we don't have the money. Last year and this year, we saw the largest numbers of embassies being opened in Africa ever in the history of the continent. Wow. It is now a mad rush to go to Africa and start your position in preparation for taking over this market that is wide open. With no money, guess what? This time we're giving the continent away for good. You see, previously the borders also prevented them from really taking over. Studies have shown us that in spite of the centuries of colonization, these colonizers have only taken maybe 10% of Africa's wealth. Every day, Africa is discovering more and more natural resources. We are endowed with an amazing continent that has wealth that is limitless. Africa can feed the entire world. You can take the United States physically and put it in Africa, check. You can take all of Europe, put it in Africa, check. You can take all of China, India. They all fit on the continent of Africa. Not only can Africa not feed the world, but Africa can accommodate the entire world. That's how rich this continent is. That's what we have. That's what we are inheriting as people of African descent. But the reality is, are we aware to that fact? We are busy being told your Africa is a diseased and dying continent, that you must not go there. But those of you who've been to Africa lately, when you fly the intra-African airlines, who's in the plane? You're being told don't go there, so they can go. So what's needed, my fellow Africans, is for us to unite. We're now at a do or die moment. If we do not organize and come together as Africans and pull our resources together, financial resources, we have just finally opened up our continent to the colonizers so they can come in and just this time finish us up. I don't think we want that to happen. So through the African Union mission here, we have embarked on 3 projects that are very clear and straightforward. First, we are calling it the AfroLink. It is a LinkedIn equivalent of all people of African descent around the world. This is going to be officially launched in October in Dakar, Senegal. And once launched, I'm going to be coming back to you all, and we need to spread this word as it is everyone that must hear. It is that platform that we're going to use to talk about all the contracts that are coming up, all the employment opportunities, business opportunities. And then from the AfroLink, because we need that database come to life. We want to be able to tell you that we're getting ready to open up East Africa as the wheat production region for the continent. You need to be a shareholder in this massive wheat commercial farming. You can either go and be part of it, get a contract to grow wheat, you can go and work to grow wheat, or you can just stay back here in America, sit back, be a shareholder, have your money work for you in your Africa.
Yes, yes.
But you see, it's one thing to have the database and to know where we are and who is doing what. We gotta have money. So we're now going to be registering what we are calling Afro bonds. This is the bond that's going to raise enough money that we're going to be working with Afrexim Bank. Afrexim Bank can then become the financial institution to fund our development projects in Africa. So again, once Afrexim Bank launches the bond, I'm going to be running around again like a chicken without a head. You got to be part of that. Afrexim Bank is saying if we can have the diaspora pull their funds together and have $1 billion with Afrexim Bank, they're ready to fund any project that we want. Afrexim Bank is doing something very innovative. They have a blueprint that's looking into how they can also not only fund projects on the continent, but also fund small to medium projects owned by the diaspora, in the diaspora. Because they're saying, just like the Jews, a small country like Israel is as powerful as it is because her children in the diaspora are powerful. So when the African diaspora do well wherever they are on the globe, that equates to a stable and respected Africa. Wow. Have you ever wondered if we were to go to Bank of America today and say, Bank of America, give us a total dollar value of all the monies, the accounts that are owned by black people. Do you know how many billions of dollars that is? And none of that money is doing anything for us. So we gotta act smart. We gotta think